All right, so this video is going to be about all the work that I've had done, fillers, surgeries. I think that's all I've had done, but that's still a lot. So I'm 21 years old, and let's see, when was my first surgery? Oh, not surgery, filler. I think my first filler, so that would have been, I was probably 17 or 18, and I hated my smile lines. So they would always crease my makeup, and I used to use the Revlon 24-hour stay, and so that was honestly probably the real reason it creased and was not good, because I did not have good makeup. So those like always bothered me like so much, and so I was like, I need to get it fixed. So I decided to go to a place and get my smile lines fixed, and I absolutely loved it. I haven't gotten them filled since, but I really did enjoy it. I feel like in general it just made it better anyways. And I can't remember how much that was. I think that was about maybe 500, but it really didn't hurt because it was just like right in these two little, I don't even know what they're actually called, smile lines. Like when you smile, you know, right here. Got those filled. I feel like they've come back slightly, but because I've changed my makeup routine, it's not as bad. Let's see. So that was the first thing I ever had done. I was 17 or 18. Like, when I'm telling you I wanted stuff done from the beginning of the time that I formed an opinion about myself, I'm being so honest. Like, there was like mainly 3 things I always wanted done: my nose, my lips, and my skin to be good, because I've never had good skin growing up. So let's see, Accutane was actually probably the first step I took to my glow up, you could call it. So I started taking Accutane probably my junior year, probably the beginning of it, I think. And I didn't have like cystic acne or anything. It really wasn't like that. It was just like a lot of tiny bumps, just tiny bumps everywhere. If I can find some pictures, like I'll insert them. So it was a lot of just like tiny bumps and acne, and I don't know, that makes it like you can cover them up kind of, but like the texture of your skin is like, I feel like that's just so important. Like if you can't fix the texture, then you're just never going to be happy with it, regardless if you can cover up the redness or anything. So I did that, and then I had really good skin after. I've never liked the overall tone of my face, just because I feel like any acne that I did get, even if it was small, it would always leave behind hyperpigmentation. And so I felt like it was always a battle, because I would get the acne, get rid of it, and then it would leave a mark behind. And so I started getting like chemical peels, and I was in hair school, and so I would get, we had an aesthetics program as well. So I would get microneedling, microdermabrasions, and like chemical peels, and I would kind of go back and forth between all of those, and it started to help, it did, but then I felt like my acne kind of came back anyways. So recently, I probably just got off of it actually a month ago. I started back in September 10th of 2018 is when I started, and then I actually didn't finish all of it because I started getting eczema really bad. I was like breaking out in a rash and didn't know if maybe that was causing it, because they said it could, because it has a lot of side effects. I never really experienced like a lot of side effects from Accutane, besides like I really didn't care about anything. Like my junior year, I just really didn't care about like anything. They say that you can get like really depressed, and I did have depression, but it never pushed me over the edge. So if you have depression, maybe be aware of that. But yeah, honestly, I would die for Accutane. Like I really, truly love it. It's like the only thing that's ever helped me. So I did it for a second time, just to kind of get rid of like every single thing, anything that was like left behind or I feel like wasn't perfected. And And yeah, I just didn't finish probably the last month of it. So usually it's like a 6, you're on a pill for every day for 6 months. You'll take 1 at the beginning, then you'll move up to like 2, just gradually take more during the day. And so I stopped, I think, yeah, it's been like 2 months, maybe not even that long, but I just quit the last month. So I probably took it for like 5 months instead of 6 is what you're supposed to do. Some people take it longer. I'd taken 7 months the first time. But yeah, a lot of people do end up having to go back on it. And it usually is years down the road, but yeah, I know a ton of people who have done it and loved it. My sister, my mom, both went on it. So many of my friends have been on it. Yeah, super worth it. Anyways, so after I figured out my skin, I moved to my lips. Yeah, I was like, all right. My bottom lip honestly wasn't that bad, but my top lip, I wanted to be even, like evened out everything. I just wanted them to be fuller in general. So I went and got lip fillers, probably at the age of 18, like, I can't honestly even remember. I have pictures, so maybe I'll insert a picture of the day, or maybe like a week after I got them done, just for them to like, well, it probably was only a few days after I took this picture. So I will insert that picture and let you know when it was. But so that I got filler, yeah, I think I was about 18 the first time I got it. It was $500, and I'm pretty sure I did a full syringe. So you can do a full syringe or a half syringe, and I did a full one the first time, I'm pretty sure. But I think it might have been Restylane. I didn't get, I think that's what they put in my lips was Restylane. So I had that, and as soon as I got it done, I was like, wow, this is amazing. Best decision ever. Like, I loved it. But probably a week, probably not even a week. Probably 2 weeks after, it like completely metabolized and was like, I wouldn't say back to normal completely, but pretty dang close. And so I went back in and I was like, hey, the filler like didn't last in me at all. Like, it's super, like I don't know, the difference from like when I first few days I got them done to that, like 2 weeks after, it was like I hadn't even like really got them done. So I was really upset, obviously, because it metabolized so fast. And I went back in and I told her, my girl who did it, I told her that it metabolized, and she was just kind of like, well, some people's bodies do that. Some, you know, basically kind of like, well, tough luck, sorry, doesn't work for everybody. And so I was like, all right, what do you think we could put more in? And she's like, yeah, but I'm gonna have to charge you for another syringe, another $500. And I was like, okay, well, I'm not gonna pay $500 if it didn't even work the first time, and then pay again, and still not know if it's gonna work. So my friend Becca actually had gotten hers done at Riverside Medical, and I think she got Juvederm in her lips, and I don't know, she got a half syringe or full, but she got it on her top lip, and hers lasted so long. And so I was like, okay, well, I gotta switch. I can't go to this other place anymore. So I switched over to Riverside, and I started seeing the ladies there instead. I've had 2 girls there do my lips. Tiffany and Sheila are their names. And I started going to Tiffany first, and I did half syringes. So instead of doing a full syringe, spending like $500, I think the prices have even gone up since that. But so I would start with half syringes. So I did that on my top lip. It lasted, I really liked it. And then I was like, hey, I kind of want some fullness in my bottom. So I'm honestly probably all together, not counting the Restylane, that full syringe, I probably have done like 3 half syringes. So a syringe and a half is probably what's in my lips now. Maybe even more, I'm not really sure. I would kind of go a few months and then get a little bit more, and then go a few months and get a little bit more, instead of just like, I don't know. I didn't want to waste the stuff, so I liked starting out with smaller amounts. And I think mine were about $400 for a half syringe, but So it's probably like $700 for a full syringe, but I think they moved up the prices $50. And so I think now for half syringe it's $450. But I've been numbed a few different ways. So the first time with the Restylane, I got injected in my gums a dental block, and I was super numb. So, I mean, it didn't really hurt. Then the time after that, when I switched over to Riverside, they put lidocaine on my lips and would use, it's like they like feed a little tube through your lips and kind of like lay it out that way instead of like injecting it like with a needle a whole bunch of times, I guess, if that makes any sense. The dental block and everything for the Restylane, it was okay. I just didn't like getting a needle in my gums, you know, that's what it is. So then the second time so they put the lidocaine on my lips, numbed it that way, did the cannula as well, if that's what it's called. And I really liked it, honestly. It lasted a really long time, and I loved how my lips looked. The last time I went, Sheila did it a little bit different. So every person's different, honestly. They numb different or they inject different. Like, it's kind of just their style. So this last time, I went to Sheila, and she put lidocaine on my gums instead of my lips. And then she put in a dental block. And this was probably the most comfortable it had ever felt, because the first time I had ever gotten it done, she just put the dental block in my gums. She didn't numb my gums or anything. And so I felt the needle go in my gums, and it's really uncomfortable. I have a pretty high pain tolerance though, so I would say it really is not even a big deal. A lot of people say it like hurts pretty bad. I don't know. It probably does. If you have a low pain tolerance, probably is pretty painful. But anyways, she numbed my gums with lidocaine and then injected the dental block in my gums. And so I like hardly felt anything. She molded out my lips really good, like spread the product around a lot. And I probably liked her the most, that she, you know, the way she did my lips and everything. The only issue is that I was numb for like 2.5, maybe even longer, 2.5 hours after the procedure. That's the reason I kind of like the lidocaine. You can just feel it a little bit more, but lidocaine wears off really fast, and so you leave and you can, like, you know, fill your lips again and it's not a problem. But yeah, I took like a 2-hour nap after my last appointment with her, and I felt like my lips were like numb for like 3 hours, honestly. But I don't know, it was a pretty good experience overall. So lips are out of the way, they're all done, loving my life. But then I'm like, well, the last thing on my list is my nose. So I talked to my parents about it just briefly, and they're really supportive of everything that I want to do, honestly. You know, I feel like I have a line, and I'm pretty good at drawing the line and being like, okay, that's enough, like that's a little too fake, or a little too obvious, you know, that you're getting work done. But I feel like I've done it in a pretty natural way. I mean, I hope so, at least. I hope everybody else thinks that too. But so around probably October, I scheduled a consultation at Dr. Peterson's office in St. George, and I went and saw him, and he was basically like, well, there's a thing called a tip nose job, which is just the, you know, this little tip, obviously, like basically the cartilage around your nose. It doesn't really have anything to do with the bone. And I was like, okay, that's perfect, because the only thing I felt like was wrong with my nose, really, like I didn't, from the side, I didn't have like a bump or anything that was really causing me to not like it. It was just like from head on, I didn't like how wide it was in the front. And then I had these little dips kind of right here, but yeah, it was just super wide. And so I really didn't like it. It bothered me for a long time. And so I went and saw him, and he's like, yeah, there's this thing called a tip nose job. You can just, it's really easy. the healing time is honestly a lot better than like a full-on nose job where you have to break the bone and everything if you're like doing like bridge work, you know, the bridge of your nose, and if there's like a bump and stuff. And so the healing time's a lot faster. It's really only like a week. So he told me it was going to be $3,700, so that's what it was, $3,700. I was like, okay, that's honestly way better than I was expecting. I'm sure if you're doing you know, like the bridge work, if you have like a prominent bump on your bone and stuff, they'll charge you more. But yeah, I was like, wow, that's literally amazing. So I was like on board. So I scheduled my appointment for the surgery for November 27th, and I went in. I got my anesthesia and everything, and I was like, it was really calm. It was really like, I don't know, I just like felt okay about it. Like I wasn't nervous. I wasn't nervous about anything. It was really comfortable. I went in and they did the surgery, came out. Apparently the anesthesia knocked me out because I like was out for another hour than I was actually supposed to be. So then I woke up and everything, and I remember waking up and asking if I was levitating. So, and then I just had the little I didn't have splints in my nose because it didn't have to be held up or anything because it was just my tip. So they bandaged it, and then they had the little hard cover thing over it, and I'll insert pictures of all of that. But yeah, honestly, I'll show like before pictures and stuff over here, like of my nose, and then like during it. I took pictures during it, after, before the surgery, after the surgery, and I have a lot of befores and afters. They even like gave me some copies of my befores and afters. As you can see in my before, my profile one, I'll have it bigger up here, but my tip was just like super wide. It almost like matched up with this part of my nose instead of like this little bridge of it. And then in the afters and stuff, you can see my septum was shortened a little bit, and just everything. And it's only been 3 months, you know, like this is even like starting to match up with this bridge of my nose, which is exactly what I wanted. So I don't know, it's just been so good. Honestly, I'm so happy with it. I'm so grateful that I was able to do this, you know. And I feel like, you know, people probably get hate for wanting to change themselves, but I think if it makes you happier and it's something that really bothers you, like it's so worth it, honestly. I used to look at my nose every day and be like, oh, I wish it was different. And now it is. So, but yeah, that was the last thing that I had done. I don't think there's, oh, I got black eyes. So, oh, the other thing too, so I kind of had these prominent bones right here. They were just a little bit sharp. Like they would come out and be like, just, I don't know, they were just like a little bit edgy right here is what you could see. So he shaved that down a little bit just to round it out and make it smoother. I don't know if you can tell, but yeah, he just like shaved this down a little bit and made it better. He did that for me, which I thought was really nice because I basically was just going in for like a tip, but he really didn't have to like break the bone or anything still. He just like shaved it down, I'm sure. So yeah, I feel like that made a big difference. You know, he kind of goes out of his way to make sure that he doesn't just do the bare minimum. He doesn't basically be like, all right, well, you only paid me for a tip nose job, I'm only giving you a tip nose job. You know, like he's gonna make everything in all look good. So I appreciated that. But yeah, I did get black eyes. I think mostly from that bone work. So if you were just to strictly get the tip done, I don't know if you would even get black eyes, honestly. It mostly just happened on, I think it was my right eye. I have pictures of it, so I'll show them too, how bad my black eyes were, obviously. But yeah, it really only took a week. I went back in, got off my little hard cover and stuff. They took it off, It didn't hurt. I'm sure if you had splints inside of your nose, you had a more intense nose job, it probably would take longer to heal and everything like that. But yeah, the tip nose job was honestly super cool. Not even hardly painful at all. Fast recovery, super worth it. But yeah, so that's kind of my nose job experience. Oh, the other thing too is a lot of people don't know this, but so it's only been 3 months since my surgery, and it takes actually a full year to even see your results, because the skin memory where it was laying on top of, you know, where your skin was laying on top of your cartilage that you'd had for what, 20 years, obviously is going to need time to take down and kind of like settle back into like where the new nose is, basically where they took off the cartilage and everything. And so it takes a full year to even see your results. And I've noticed that too, like from the beginning, my parents were kind of like, oh, I like don't really see a difference. And I was like, I don't know if I see the biggest difference either, but I wasn't worried because I was like, oh, obviously it goes down. They don't even take the after pictures until, I literally took them today, and what is it, March 14th, and I have the surgery on November 27th. And so yeah, it like literally doesn't even show for probably 3 months is when they start. I feel like I've started to see the biggest difference at the 3 month mark. And then sorry, my big bitches. So anyways, oh, so it takes a full year to see like your actual results with your nose job and stuff. So by November, I'll have like my full results and probably be extremely happy with it. Also, something else they don't really tell you is that after the surgery, your nose is like numb. Like I still don't have a lot of feeling, and it's like really kind of like hard at the tip. He says that softens and everything as the months go by and like you get further, you know, into your healing. But yeah, it's really like numb, and then like your nose drips a lot. Like I have like drip snot in my client's hair because I do lashes. Okay, I'm not gonna say who either, so that's really gross. It's only happened like once, but it was somebody that I, you know, like a loved one, like a friend, so that's good. But yeah, it just like drips from up here and like randomly, like I'll just be like chilling, won't even know, like there's no sign that it's even gonna drip, and all of a sudden it will just be like whoop, whoop, whoop. Yeah, it just like drips, and it's really annoying, but I can handle it for the overall look. It's worth it. So honestly, that's about it. Oh, you know what? Actually, I had one other thing done. I got my under eyes filled. I only got a half syringe, which you would need a full syringe, I feel like, to, or maybe I did get a full syringe, but I think you would need almost like a full syringe for like each under eye to really see the difference, because I really didn't see that much of a difference. I think that was $600. So that's kind of sickening that I've almost spent like $5,000. I don't even know if like a lot of people have even noticed, or I think a lot of people have noticed my lips. I don't think nobody's said anything about my nose really, besides the people that I've told, obviously. Yeah, people know that I got my lips done. I feel like it's pretty obvious because they're super like voluminous and they look like they've been done, obviously. But yeah, I feel like you need to do your research on a lot of things if you're thinking about getting any of this done. You need to, anytime I would go in and get my lips done, I would always say, can you please put the filler, instead of putting it on these like outside lines, I would tell them to put it like under here, so it like pushes them out and makes them more like plump, instead of like giving you those duck lips, because I feel like a lot of people will like put it here kind of on this outside, and then it makes you, instead of going like that, making them plumper, it makes it look like, I don't know, I just feel like there's a huge difference when you put it like down here kind of, and here in the middle to like push them out and make them more plump. So anytime I would go in, I mean, I hate being that person that's like, here's how you should do your job, here's how you should inject me, because I literally know nothing about it. But I just feel like when they put it like on the outsides of your mouth instead, it gives you more of like a duck lip. And so I really didn't want that. So I just always was like, can you like put it more like in the center and like kind of push them out and make them more plump. So that's all the work I've had done. But yeah, that's all.